Hello everyone, this is my end of the league build. I just liquidated all the stuff from my other builds and then bought as much gear as I could to make this work, and then I still had to farm out even more because it costs so much, because this build uses really unique gear that there's just not much of it, even like for trade. Like some jewels that I want, there's like 3 of them that people have not logged in to sell in like a month. I use a megalomaniac that's so good and very specific, and yeah, so it's just very hard to copy this, but it is very interesting. I am taking the Essence Drain Contagion type playstyle, except instead of Essence Drain, I am using Poisonous Concoction because it's infinitely better than Essence Drain. Essence Drain, you gotta waste support gem slots to like maybe make it hit the enemy that you put Contagion on. Poisonous Concoction, you just lob it at the enemy that you put Contagion on, and then it spreads like crazy because poison does spread with Contagion. And yeah, let's get right into it. So one of the main problems with using Contagion is obviously you need another skill to actually do the damage. Contagion just spreads it. Well, it only spreads chaos dot damage, and that means you have to cast 2 spells to clear packs, which I know that's very bad, and Path of Exile, terrible. So ours, if I didn't have anything to fix my cast and attack speed, it would look like this. And you can see how that would not be fun to clear with. But we are using a Widow Hail with so much increased Quiver bonus, and then a Quiver that has 14 and 9% increased attack speed. And then we are using 2 rings with a lot of cast speed with an Ingenuity belt. And then also I put more cast speed on Contagion, but I didn't put Martial Tempo on Poisonous Concoction because we have plenty. It goes pretty quick. And then also just recently I was able to fit on Combat Frenzy, which when you freeze an enemy, you get a Frenzy charge, and we are creating, we are freezing enemies with Chaotic Freeze on Contagion. We put Contagion on an enemy, and then Poisonous Concoction will freeze them, kill them, and spread poison with Contagion. And then with our Frenzy charges, on Charged Infusion, we get 11% more skill speed, so literally just 1.1 times skill speed. So while we're mapping, our combos even faster than this, and it feels very good. So for the damage on our Poisonous Concoction, you can see that, where's our total damage? Our total damage is 30,000, and our poison damage on the high end is 37,000. So we are doing more poison damage than hit damage, which is so cool. That's kind of, I didn't even want to make a Poisonous Concoction Contagion build. I love Essence Drain Contagion. It's probably what I'll be playing in the new PoE 1 League. But I wanted to make an Ignite build with like as much magnitude as possible to get the biggest Ignite. Probably use a Fulminating Concoction and then the Black Flame Rings, which give increased magnitude of Ignite, which is, these rings are pretty cool and probably one of the only things that Ignite has over poison, but you can only get 1 Ignite, which is a gigantic drawback. It doesn't matter that the duration of Ignite is like 4 seconds instead of 2 seconds, because we are reducing our Ignite duration by so much with these rings, because I wanted to get like 200% magnitude with Ingenuity and 2 rings, but it's just you have to solve for Ignite duration, which you can, but then you're like hurting your build so much, it's like why even mess with Ignite? So that's how I ended up with poison and this whole build idea. So for my damage, what's making it do all this damage is Poisonous Concoction has 100% more magnitude of poison inflicted, just normal on its tooltip. It just does 2 times more magnitude than any other skill you would poison with, so that's sick. We have Deadly Poison, which is more magnitude of poison. We do Chaos Infusion, which is 25% of damage as extra chaos damage. So that means our poison will just have a higher poison since our damage is higher. Concentrated Effect, because I don't need to be clearing with my Poisonous Concoction, so I can lower my area of effect. And then we have Chaos Mastery for another level, and there's really nothing else that you could put here that would increase its damage easily and whatnot. And then we do have on Scattershot, because I can apply 6 poison stacks on this build, so 2 Scattershots on an enemy, because the AoE of all 3 of the Poisonous Concoctions will hit the enemy. I just gotta hit them twice if they're like unique enemy or a boss, and then they have full poison stacks on them. Now, a lot of the damage comes from our Quiver, obviously, because we have +2 level of all projectile skills. And then here on the Corrupted Implicit, we have increased damage, which is the only way to like increase your damage with a Quiver. Now, you can get, like on Poisonous Concoction, you can get some physical damage to attacks, which will contribute to your poison damage, but this is so minuscule compared to, what does it even say now? Yeah, like we do 3,800 base damage, so adding like 100 physical damage is not much at all, but it is something. Let's just open up every menu. Why not? And so, okay, so increased damage on a Corrupted Implicit is the only way to increase your damage now, because you cannot increase it with increased damage with bow skills anymore. This just literally does nothing on this Quiver. It's very hard to get an increased damage Quiver, especially with the skills that you, or with the mods that you would want, which are increased attack speed, projectile skills. Dexterity is very nice for this build because you don't have to focus on attributes, but you could put like crit chance or crit damage here. I don't have any crit chance or crit damage on this Quiver, but I do have another Quiver that has a ton for bossing. And then getting a, what is this? The primed Quiver, you get even more increased attack speed on this, which is just, you can just throw so many so fast. So for all of our Quiver effect, I did have my Poisonous Concoction up to level 40 with a 296% increased bonuses from equipped Quiver. Then I had this cluster here that gives bonus to Quiver. I have an Adorned Jewel with a bunch of magic corrupted increased bonuses gained from equipped Quiver jewels. You know the song and dance. This is very meta. But I actually found out that these exist, increased magnitude of ailments, or you could get increased magnitude of poison. And then also you can get on the same jewel, damaging ailments deal damage faster, which does not decrease your duration at all. It's just another multiplier. It's just another multiplier, like to poison. It's crazy. Let me see. Where's my duration here? 4.76, and when I take the jewel out, it doesn't change it. So yeah, this is not affecting the duration. It is just another multiplier. There are some nodes down here that do damaging ailments deal damage % faster. It's not efficient to path up to all 6 of these when I could just path like 5 over to a jewel socket and then put in one of these jewels. Is just the only reason that I don't have these on the tree. So that is why I took my level down on my Poisonous Concoction, because adding some of these jewels was better DPS than increasing the level of my Poisonous Concoction, and I can't make both fit. So I'm at level 38, and I have, I think, 3 of these jewels. Damaging ailments deal damage 6% faster. Same thing here. I think this one maybe? Nope. This one maybe? No, that's not it, but you can get the increased bonuses from equipped Quiver and damaging ailments deal damage faster on the same jewel, but they are so rare. There are 3 of them on the market right now, and the people haven't been on for days. I got this one and corrupted it myself and got so lucky. The deal damage faster is like 1 off on its value. So I think that's the only one that I've seen in the last like week and a half that I've been making this build. Probably like a week. I don't know. But then the rest of the jewels that are magic corrupted are increased bonus from Quiver. And then the suffix. Yeah, the suffix is either increased life recovery from flasks, which applies to our energy shield, poison duration, or the one that I had was faster damage for ailments. And then for the other damaging nodes on our tree, I just really value magnitude of poison. And then this is +1 poison. This is increased poison duration. It's pretty good. I don't really have to take it, but it's only 1 point to grab that. This is increased effective poisons on a target that's not affected by a poison. I don't know what effect is. It doesn't explain it. I'm just hoping it's another multiplier. Either way, if it's like 60% magnitude, it's fine. And then I have this duration, magnitude, and a lot of magnitude. I don't have life, but when I had life on the build, this was pretty good to recover it. And then I do take building toxins, and I have dark entries because of this megalomaniac. Also, I forgot I have this wheel on the tree because this gives me 53% increased chaos damage. I do lose 3% of my energy shield. I don't have life to lose, but we get it back with Grim Feasts or my Life Flask. And then I also have Spaghettification to increase my attributes, and also you get 29% increased chaos damage. And then I have 16% increased chaos damage and 30% increased chaos damage on my rings, along with Ingenuity. So I think that is all the damage on my build. I don't have any crits. That is just kind of hard to fit onto your quiver. If you want attack speed and you want dexterity to make your attributes better, it's just hard to make fit, and your mapping is just not going to feel as good. Your single target damage will obviously be better, but you can just buy another quiver with critical damage and critical chance on it. So for the defenses on this build, I have 3100 energy shield with chaos inoculation, so I don't take any chaos damage, but I don't have any life. I was life energy shield until I got to like 3000 energy shield on the build, which feels good enough. I could probably get this up higher. And then I do have 92% evasion with full Wind Dancer stacks. And we are using Queen of the Forest, so that is 79% movement speed. I could probably get energy shield to like 4000, and evasion doesn't need to go too much higher, but obviously each percent of evasion is way better than the last. And I could probably get my movement speed up to probably closer to 100% if I had perfect gear. Right now I have great gear. These are evasion energy shield, evasion energy shield. This is just energy shield because of this node on the tree here. And then Queen of the Forest is just evasion. And I bought one without quality on it because I'm an idiot. But it was pretty cheap for, yeah, because it didn't have the quality on it. Oh, also I have an amulet with percent energy shield and a little bit of flat energy shield. And also I had to buy a helmet with spirit on it because I only had 46 spirit on my amulet. If I had 50, I wouldn't have had to buy the helmet, but just didn't work out because I do have other really good mods on this. +3 level to all projectile skills, which applies to poisonous concoction, obviously, and then cast speed and all attributes. And then on the rings, I also have evasion rating, which I am scaling with the defense modifier quality that you can do. I could do a breach ring and get a lot more. Just for now, this is what works for my build. I just have rarity on this ring, which is really nice for farming maps. Then, of course, cast speed and my chaos damage. And then this, I have cast speed and chaos damage. And then we do have some intelligence on the rings, and getting intelligence anywhere on the build is good because it is increasing our evasion with this jewel, the Heroic Tragedy. And if you get the one that has Olroth on it, you can pick this and it turns your intelligence bonus to give you evasion rating instead of mana. Then on the tree, we pick up all the good energy shield evasion stuff that's on the way over to here to pick up a bunch of jewel sockets. And then I do get energy shield. I don't know if I need, actually the stun stuff is really good. And then I have a thawing charm, so I get stunned as little as possible and then get frozen, hopefully never. And then, yeah, the reason we come all the way over here is for these AoE nodes for Contagion, because it is our main mapping skill. And we just need the AoE to be as big as possible. And that's hard to do when it starts with a 1.7 meter radius, which is terrible. But we do get it up to 2.8 with more area of effect. And then we have all of these nodes, which is 8, 12, 12, 8, 8, 20. And then on my amulet, I allocate Royal, since I would have to go all the way down and around for that. Just not going to work out. And that is all the AoE. You can get it on jewels, but I need my jewels for damage. You can get AoE and faster damaging ailments apply faster. I don't know why it's always so hard to say. But that is something I could do. But 2.8 feels pretty good for most maps. And for the rest of Contagion, Area of Effect, Cast Faster, Chaotic Freeze that I already talked about, and then Hinder, just because it slows down the enemy that you put it on, and it's not really needed. I just put it on recently, actually. And then for our single target damage on our second weapon set, we have Despair, and I do have Hex Bloom if I did want to use it for mapping, but I just don't. Then we have Increased Effective Curse, and then Inspiration, so it costs less since it costs so much and we have so little mana. And then we have Eye of Winter to apply Wither and critical weakness on enemies with. We use Extraction to let this do chaos damage, so we can apply Wither with Withering Touch. And then we have Persistence for more skill effect duration for our critical weakness and our Wither. And then we have Unleash, so it throws out 3 Eye of Winters at the same time. So we apply full Wither, full critical weakness just instantly. And then those are on our second weapon set. And for our second weapon set here, I just have a focus and a wand with as much cast speed as possible. The other stats, I literally don't even know what they are. I haven't looked at them. And then I allocate curse effects, curse activation, curse duration, and increased effect of Wither, and skill effect duration. And then I have on Wind Dancer for more evasion rating, so we are running faster and it's harder for enemies to hit us. And then when we get hit by a melee attack, it will explode and blind the enemy and maim them. And then we have Blink along with all of our movement speed with Ingenuity for increased cooldown. And then also for movement, we have Ball Lightning and Lightning Warp on our Widow Hail, since we have so much increased projectile speed, which really helps our Poisonous Concoction. We can also do Ball Lightning and Lightning Warp for movement, since our Ball Lightning goes so fast. Our Ball Lightning costs a lot because it's being increased by the increased projectile skills. So we can only use it twice before we have to refill with a Mana Flask, which isn't ideal. Because Poisonous Concoction spends Mana Flask charges to be thrown. But yeah, it's something. And then we have on Grim Feast to overflow our energy shield and recover our energy shield. It's just OP. And then I already talked about Charge Infusion, Combat Frenzy, giving us more skill speed. And I have on Profusion to give us an additional charge 50% of the time. And yeah, that is the build. I'll go in and do some fun stuff now. Okay, I have an area level 81 map, and I'm doing more Monster Life to simulate Delirium because Delirium's ugly, and I don't want to do that for the video. But you kind of just want to wait for your Wind Dancer to get up before you engage monsters, because you can just get clapped since we're at the beginning of the map and we don't have any Grim Feast stacked up. But you can see how fast we start spreading our Contagion. And anytime I feel like I'm in a bad scenario, I just use my Health Flask, because our Health Flask recovers Energy Shield because of Eternal Youth on the tree. I don't think I talked about that, but that's also very used a lot in this game. But yeah, we clear just fine. I love Contagion so much in Path of Exile. It is the most satisfying skill to clear with. It is sadly just very low AoE in this game. And I didn't talk about it in this video, but I just released another video on how Contagious Contamination and, well, I don't want to do that, and how Contagion spread poison. Basically, if you put a poison stack on an enemy, it will spread 2 to the next enemy. 1 for Contagious Contamination and 1 for Contagion. Doesn't matter how many stacks are on the enemy. I can put 6 on, like I said, because I am Pathfinder. I guess I didn't talk about that, but Pathfinder doubles the amount of poison you put on an enemy. Poisonous Concoction comes from Pathfinder, and then I just take more passive points on her. Should have said that earlier. But yeah, you can only spread 2 poison to an enemy. Plague Bearer does not stack with this at all. Not Plague Bearer, but Herald of Plague does not stack with this at all. They just do the same thing, and you're just wasting 30 Spirit if you have it on your poison build with Contagious Contamination. But yeah, so if I put poison, or I put Contagion on this guy and killed him with my Poison Concoction, he would spread 2 poison stacks to this enemy and all the enemies that he's in AoE of. Contagion goes much further than our Contagious Contamination, so that's why Contagion is just better on the poison build. And then when the Contagion gets into a pack of enemies, the Contagious Contamination will also spread inside the pack, so that's why packs just explode. But if you see Contagion go from one pack to another, it might slow down the combo a little bit, because it's only spreading one poison stack when Contagion's going from one enemy to another. So we have the boss, so I'll just take out my second weapon set, curse him, critical weakness and wither, and then hit him a few times with my other weapon set. And that's my poison damage doing all the work, and I'll just finish him off like this. Okay, I just ran a juiced breach with delirium on the map, and you can't see shit. So I'm just going to run another one, again with more monster life, increased number of rare monsters, and then I have... not this. Just go to this. I have a juiced breach atlas tree now to properly show it, and we have a sand spit with 52% increased quantity. So this will be a really easy map, obviously, but it'll show you how well this spreads in a breach. I mean, I think one of the only thing that Contagion is good at is breaches. I had to increase the AoE a ton for maps, but really you did not have to increase the AoE for breaches at all. But yeah, this is, you can see this here. We're not using curses for the breaches. That mod doesn't matter. The only mods that I don't run is like pen, like enemy elemental pen, minus max resistances, less recovery rate of energy shield. Those are the only ones that I don't run. Kind of running alongside our Contagion there. It's hard to clear forward when we're so fast, but we're definitely not clearing backwards at all. We're just kind of throwing it backwards as we get next to the enemy and run past them. I'll get rid of this. But I love seeing Contagion just spread. It's the most satisfying thing ever. And the reason that I don't use Unleash on Contagion is because if you hit multiple enemies in a big pack with Contagion and then blast them all with poison, it will just make the game freeze for like a long time because it's trying to calculate all those Contagions spreading to all the same enemy and then like spread them back to each other after they die, I'm pretty sure. It's bad, so just I don't use Unleashed since I don't need it, since I just hit the enemy every single time right away. We'll go ahead and hit this. The main problem with Breach is that you have to keep reapplying this because you kill all the enemies and then new ones have to spawn. So we'll just kind of go back and forth here. It'll be really easy to travel since it's Sandspit, you know, a good map. I had my breaches opening slow. I guess I didn't have to do that, but... So back and forth. Doesn't matter if I teleport right into a pack, I'll be fine. Just go back and forth. This is not fun breach clear. Wish I had a Savannah or something. Here we go. This should be a good pop. Yeah, see how bad that lags? Imagine if there were 2 more Contagions with that by using Unleashed. It does not work out well. Here we go, another one. And that's probably the whole breach. So obviously this Breachstone's going to go just as well as that breach did. And when I get to the boss, I'm going to have to do a Quiver swap. I don't think I have to. I just want to do it because it does better damage. And it'll make sure that I don't run out of mana flask charges. I've never ran out of mana flask charges ever on this build, even with no generation. So it's pretty nice. But yeah, I will just cut to that because you already know that this breach is going to go just fine. Okay, so this is the swap I do. I put on this Quiver, and then you saw me get back Spirit, and that is because Wind Dancer and Combat Frenzy turn off because they both require 191 dex, and most of my dex on my build is on this Quiver, but I have enough to run like a level 10, 12 Wind Dancer. This is just so I have movement speed in the boss fight. And then, yeah, this Quiver has like 50% critical hit chance and then 34% critical damage bonus. So I will throw infinitely slower, but I will do a lot more damage for my hits, so the DPS ends up being better on average. So yeah, already did 7,800,000 damage. Just so cool. Tons of movement speed and blink in the fight, so we're like super safe as I almost get hit by this. Can he even hit me? He can't. That's crazy. Oh, I swapped my weapons. Here we go. And he's dead. I can like outrun these and it's not even scary. Having movement speed in a boss fight's so OP. Remember, I'm getting rid of my increased damage corrupted mod by switching to this crit damage. So obviously if I got a Quiver that was like this with the corrupted increased damage mod, this thing would go crazy. There's really not much improvement I can make on the Quiver here. It's like kind of perfect. The attack speed can go up by 2%. The projectile speed can go up by like 14%, but it really doesn't matter. It's going so fast on this Quiver. The increased damage can get to 30%, so that's a huge damage bonus that I could get, but I prefer the speed of the build over the damage because the damage is good enough. And then, yeah, this just works just fine for boss fights. Trial of the Sekimas is super fun to run because you can get increased defenses and then increased quantity of relics dropped by monsters, which means the boss at the end, I don't know his name, I guess Zarok? My cat's yelling at me. But yeah, Zarok. Usually I run with all of these increased defenses, increased quantity relics, but I'm going to go fight him with 75% less damage. He does 100% more damage. I have all my honor resistance and additional choices here and additional rooms revealed. These are really suboptimal relics, but they're just what I could afford and still have fun running this. And then I do get a little bit increased defenses. So I'll cut around and show you this. So this is our movement speed in Trial of the Sekimas. I only went to like 84% from my one relic, but when I use all the relics, it definitely goes up to closer to 100%. And we do have 4,000 honor, which is more than enough when we have like 93% evasion. Nothing really hits us. We kill everything really fast that we need to, and we just run through this as fast as possible. And basically, I'm just trying to find the more defenses boon from the merchant, and then we just go so fast. Oh yeah, we don't get much Grim Feast in Trial of the Sekimas, so you definitely have to use the life flask to recover your health a lot of the times, because remember, we lose 3% from using our chaos abilities. An Allroth's flask that gives you guard would probably be pretty good on this build to give us a little bit more effective HP, just raw health pool. I've never tried it, so I don't know, but I do know some people put it on builds like this. Okay, I did get my more defenses. I'm at 128% movement speed. I wanted to show you how a gauntlet goes. With the ball lightning, you just run through all the traps because we're evasion, kill these guys, step in this, hit this lever, then wait out here for a second. I'm pretty sure this is how you do this. I've never watched someone do it a different way, but just go ahead and open that door. It'll put us back here. Then we just ball lightning over here, warp up, and then we're out. Okay, we're on to the boss. We do have 50% more damage, and I think monsters have less life, 30% less maximum life, so we do have an advantage here. And we'll do our swap. Go ahead and go up and face him. Okay. It is kind of like a little bit of a fight. Oh wow, never mind, I do pretty decent amount of damage. Maybe I should move? Oh, wrong button. Just reapplying my stuff. Yeah, he doesn't really hit.
The sands of time wait for no one. A small victory, but your war is not yet won.
Oh, it's over, bud. Alright. Diamond, let's see what we got. Cold resist and increased intelligence. Might be worth a little bit. Okay, nothing really interesting in chests. So I think that's kind of it. Yeah, it's definitely not Temporalis, obviously, but just a really fun build for me, and it is very good. And it's just min-maxed as much as I could with the amount of currency that I have and the amount of time that I have, because it's, you know, on to PoE 1 for the event. I will be playing Essence Drain Contagion to League start, because I kind of just want to get that down, because it's just what I love doing, Essence Drain Contagion. And also, I just don't know much in that game. I only started last League. I put in a lot of time. I do know a lot about Essence Drain Contagion, so I'm going to stick with it. So maybe I can give some advice on that in the future and make some videos before I branch out and do more in the game. It's just a 1 month event, so maybe make another build in the middle of it and call it there, and then back on to PoE 2. Thank you to Lance's fulminating concoction video. My build's very similar to his because he just kind of optimized it correctly, like just straight up. I didn't copy it. I just had a lot of my own thoughts, and I watched his video earlier and I just came to a lot of the same conclusions. So he just helped me make this more or less and feel like I was making the right decisions. But I think that's it. All right. Comment if you have any questions. Like the video if you like this build. Sadly, it is just very niche and hard to make yourself. Hopefully we can make some version of it next league, but I feel like Widow Hail and Quivers and Quiver effect on the tree will be nerfed in some way. Maybe not. But all right, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this, and see you later.